Well, hey, everybody. We're back. Another episode of OpenLab. Joining me is Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Jeff. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, but Jeff, I can't see you.
Can't. Oh, you know why? It's because I got this fancy InventoryLab webcam cover on.
What?
One of the yeah, it's one of the
That's
items
very
in
cool.
the swag giveaway we're going to have later on. So let me just fix that. I think the webcam cover looks better than I do, but you know. Hold on.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. All right. So how you doing today?
All right. How you doing?
Good, good. It's a special show we have today.
Yeah, a very special show, and I'm really excited.
But first, you know, everybody that's watching, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can just comment where you are, and we'll get those comments. And if you have questions, you know, pop those in there as well, and we'll answer them while we can. But Kim, now, she was so popular at our last episode of OpenLab that she's going to be here, you know, with me every time we have an episode, but you'll probably do it better. So,
yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah. She's also going to be using our test account more, so we have you know, more data in there to demonstrate things and kind of give us her take on how things are going there as it progresses. And
yeah, I'm really excited about that piece too, because I mean, typically in the HR administrative role, I don't really get to, you know, I don't get a chance to kind of dive into the product very much. So
yeah,
it'll be kind of cool seeing what we actually do and really understanding it from a customer perspective. So
yeah,
I'm excited
to get your perspective as somebody just starting out, and you know, the pain points and stuff that you see that
absolutely
probably help our customers. So, all right, I guess we've kept them waiting long enough, eh? So I'll let you go ahead and.
All right. Well, also joining us this week is our very own customer happiness manager, Chrissy Cook. So for anyone that was here last time, I shared some information about remote hiring, tips and tricks for small businesses looking to hire, as well as for job seekers, and what our hiring process is like. So we're very happy to say that when we recently created a job posting for new customer champions, we found 3 great candidates who joined the IL family this week. So first, I'd like to introduce Chrissy.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Chrissy.
As Kim said, I'm customer happiness manager. Some of you may have seen me around answering your tickets or your chats. And I'm overall just assisting y'all and customer champions, making everyone happy. When I am not working, I do love to bake, write, read, watch anime, and game. So I have lots of interests when I have time to do them.
Do you ever watch movies like Roadhouse or?
I watch movies, just not Roadhouse. That's the only movie in the world I haven't seen.
No, it's funny. It's funny, Chrissy, because Roadhouse, I'm pretty sure, won an Oscar for every category. I'm pretty sure. Right, Joe?
I think it cleaned up. Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah. So you really should check it out.
Is that true? Or is this a biased opinion? Okay.
No, maybe absolutely true. Don't look on IMDb.
It's on my list to watch that they created.
Chrissy, we have a whole list
2 years ago.
You still haven't seen. So
one day, I promise.
I know.
CHM honor.
All right. Well, shall we torment them now?
I think so. Yeah, let's do it. There's nothing like trial by fire.
All right. Time to meet our new customer champions. Here we go.
Here we go. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
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 So we have Diane, Meg, and Kelly. So how's the training going so far?
It's going really well. We've been learning so much.
What do you guys think of the remote training experience?
It's different, but Chrissy's made it super easy with all of the screen sharing and the companion material that's online. So it's been smooth sailing so far.
That's fantastic. Are you guys feeling nervous? Are you feeling like you're ready to tackle some tickets, or not quite yet? Right? I mean, you're only your first week.
We're getting there. We're getting there. It's a lot to learn. It's overwhelming at first,
Yes.
but it's, I think, kind of good because we sort of get the new user experience at the same time. So
That's fantastic. So why don't we go one by one, if all of you don't mind, just giving just a little brief, bio about yourself, what you like to do, your interests, hobbies, just anything that you think people might be interested to know about you. Meg, why don't we start with you?
Oh, sure. I'm Meg. I grew up in North Carolina. I lived in Connecticut for a bit, but now I'm back in North Carolina. When I'm not working, I like to draw and paint and do sidewalk chalk. That's my recent favorite craft hobby. I also, when it's not a pandemic, I like to do roller derby. So
That is so cool.
yeah, it's so much fun. It's great exercise. I compete with my local travel team. So we go up and down the East Coast, competing against different leagues. I also was chosen to be a part of Team North Carolina last year. So
Wow.
I got to sit at a national tournament, which was terrifying because I got to meet so many of my heroes, but also just so much fun.
Is that
that's
the
really
flat
cool.
track then? Or do you,
Yeah,
are you
flat
on the
track roller
slope?
derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done the bank track, but I want to try it. But some of our league members did bank track as like an experiment. They just went and played in just an open scrimmage bout and skated on the flat track for the first time that day and said it was just a whole different thing.
That's pretty cool. And Kelly, how about you?
Well, I'm Kelly. I was born and raised in Nevada, so West Coast. But about 4 years ago, my husband and I sold all of our possessions and moved into our RV full time. So welcome to my very tiny office here in our RV. Yes, high five for RV life. We are currently in southern Michigan and probably going to be heading out to our next destination coming up here in a few days. So I'll be answering tickets from anywhere and everywhere, which is really fun. We have a dog, so in our free time, we do lots of hiking. We're always outside. I'm also really into a holistic health and wellness, so I teach a lot on social media about essential oils and natural health care, and I have a podcast, and that's just kind of like a fun little passion project for me.
That's very
You
cool.
want to name your podcast, or you don't have to,
Sure.
obviously.
I absolutely can. It's called The Wholesome Nomad Show. That's my personal brand and blog and all that stuff. So you can find it there.
That's great. So anyone wants to check that out, absolutely. It sounds awesome. All right, Diane, how about you?
Well, I'm Diane, and I grew up in Boston, but I live in Long Island, New York now with my husband and my two boys. They're 3 and 6 years old, so they take up most of my time. Doesn't leave a whole lot of time for hobbies, but I am also studying data science. So between kids and school and everything, there's not a lot of extra time, but we do like to bake cookies. We do yoga together, me and the kids. We do art projects, things like that. So that's pretty much what my life is like.
That sounds awesome. And what is it about data science that attracted you?
Well, I just love the idea that there are concrete things, there are concrete facts, there are things that can be deduced from actual numbers, because we live in this era where everything is debatable and people like to argue about if news is real or if facts are real. And I just love that there are numbers that can back up things. There is science, there is numbers, there are things that we can say, this is truth, this is real. So
yeah, and I know what you mean about the way things are right now. So having solid scientific data on anything is always a good thing. So Chrissy, what do you think about what's that, Jeff?
I was going to say, just don't verify the Roadhouse facts that we were pushing out.
No. You don't need to verify any of that, Chrissy. It's just you have to trust me. It's
truth.
just true. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
My friend Dalton swears it's true. So what do you think about the way the training is going so far?
I think
totally putting you on the spot.
No, you're fine. I think it's going pretty well. Honestly, learning InventoryLab, because every time I train, like I'm doing it again, and every time I realize like how much it is of product. And so I have a plan, I lay it out, and I say, okay, we're gonna get this done and this done in this one day. But as I'm going through it, I'm like, okay, we're not going to get this done in one day. And I do want to be, thorough, because they're going to be, answering people with these things and making sure that what they say is accurate. So I think it's going very well with what we have set up, but I understand that it's just a lot for them to learn. So
It is.
Patience
Do you find it challenging? Because obviously you've been doing remote training for, about a year now. And do you find it particularly challenging, or have you kind of settled into, because like you said, you have your system. So do you find it, just as easy or just different, maybe not necessarily harder?
I would say that it can be a little harder because we're not in person. I can't just get up and go look at their computer screen and say, okay, we need to do this here. But with the tools that I have, so I found a virtual training program, Trainual, which is like this entire, I can set up modules, I can set up quizzes and tests, which we didn't have before. And so it lets me get more comprehensive than kind of what I was doing when we were training in person. And then just having our cameras on in a meeting also makes up for that, not being with them in person, and just constant communication. So it's pretty different because in person, you're just right there and you can see like where things are going. And technology, of course, you don't have to worry about that if things go out and whatever, but I think I'm getting to a spot where I can make this a thing. If it has to go in the future, like it can, I tweak it every time. So the last two that came on, it's a little bit different from what they had because I adapted. So,
all right,
makes sense though. As a remote team, have remote training. It all fits. So.
Yeah.
I think we're all looking forward to a time when we can get together as a team. I think that would be fantastic. But obviously, that's going to take some time, and that's okay because we have lots of great tools to communicate with each other. So now, for our new customer champions, now, obviously, I've already talked to you, and this is a question I've already asked you, but I'm pretty much the only one that heard the answer. So I'm curious if you can tell us what it was that drew you to the position of customer champion. Anybody want to start?
Well,
go ahead, Diane. I see you like you're about to talk.
I'll do it. Well, this is exactly what I told Kim in our phone screening, but I just felt like when I read the job posting, it was written by an actual human and it was looking for an actual human, not like most of these other jobs out there where they want like a drone. They want someone to just sit there and not even be themselves. So I loved that about the job posting, and I loved the idea of helping people and just being part of a company that's like a family.
Fantastic. All right, Kelly, how about you?
My answer is very similar to Diane's. When I read the posting and then even later on into the application process, I loved the verbiage that was used. It was very relatable, very human. It made me giggle. Even some of the things that we needed to do throughout the process were actually fun and enjoyable. I mean, who can say that oftentimes about applying for a job? And of course, I loved that it was entirely remote with our digital nomad lifestyle that we lead. That was really important for me personally. And that was really clearly expressed in the job posting.
Great. Meg?
Well, I actually know another employee, so that's how I first got introduced. But the application process was great, and learning more about the company itself. Like I was really looking forward to trying something new because I worked in insurers before, so this is totally different. And
I was there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we bonded. We bonded over that during our phone interview. I was looking for more of like the human touch, like Diane and Kelly were saying. And I think like here, I can have the opportunity to learn something entirely different from what I was doing, but still get to help people and help them in a way that feels more like genuine and sincere than what I was maybe used to for my other job.
Fantastic. And Meg, I'll segue into the next question, starting with you. What did you think about InventoryLab's hiring process? How did it compare to some other jobs that you may have applied for? What'd you think overall?
Well, I really liked it. I like that the fact that it was in stages. So the first stage was the phone interview with you. Then there was the logic puzzle, and then there was a like face-to-face remote with Chrissy. So it was nice. It was it made it feel like less nerve-wracking. Like the logic puzzle thing was fun, and after the initial like panic wore off, it was actually like a super fun time.
I'm glad they don't require that now.
Yeah, I know, right? What'd you think about the overall hiring process, Diane?
Yeah, I completely agree with Meg. It was fun, and the logic puzzle was definitely a surprise, but it was a great surprise. I enjoyed that. And yeah, the whole thing from the application all the way up to the interview with Chrissy was nice. It was a good process.
Fantastic. And how about you, Kelly?
Yeah, I have very similar sentiments. I'm sorry not to deliver new content, but yeah, very much the same. And you could just tell that there was something different about the culture just based on the process itself. I also feel like it went relatively quickly in comparison to other jobs I've interviewed for, from, start to almost finish. Our last interview with Chrissy was a pretty quick turnaround time, which I really appreciated.
That's good. See, I tended to think, I'm like, oh, is anyone going to be upset that it takes, weeks?
I felt the same.
Like, if you thought it was quick, that's great.
Maybe I've just been applying for the wrong jobs. They weren't good fits, obviously.
And so, Chrissy, I wanted to ask you, so when we were here before, I spent a lot of time, talking about, tips and tricks for small businesses who wanted to hire remotely, job seekers. Was there anything in particular, not necessarily with Kelly, Megan, Diane's, applications or resumes? Was there anything in general that really stood out to you? And like, in your opinion, what do you think really catches an employer's eye?
I think the first impression would be being able to see that on our end, it was seeing that the applicants were human applicants. Not to say that they were bots or anything, but you can tell like when they filled out their application that, they were showing us their personality as well. So I really like that. I like seeing that because you go through like hundreds of applications, and the thing that will come out to you is someone that you can kind of see a smile in their words. And so that is kind of what I saw with all three of them. In addition to, the little things like seeing that they pay attention to detail, or they seem like they would really like to dig in deep with research. So that's something later on that stuck out between the top that we went through. But I think it's the smile in the words that they have is the thing that comes to me, because I'm generally a happy person, and when we talk, or when I talk to them one-on-one, I could feel that we had some sort of connection going on there. Mm-hmm. And when I could feel that, that's when I know it's like, okay, these are the ones.
Absolutely. I felt the same way. So yeah. The first thing, of course, is the resumes, the applications, anything that, the answers that you give on the application. Mm-hmm. That's one of the first things that catches our eye. And then obviously all of your personalities really shone through, which is, something I talked about before. We don't want people to be shy, just put yourself out there, and don't be afraid to use humor. Don't be afraid, especially with a job posting like we had. I think you can read something like that and get a feel for, okay, if I made a joke or if I use my sense of humor, I think that it would be well received with this kind of job posting, So, and then obviously all of your attention to detail, the spelling, the grammar, that's a huge thing for me, as you guys know. And I think when I talked to all of you on the phone, it was a pretty quick, instant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. These are the top. And not that I'm going to show you my notes, because I'm not, but Chrissy knows all the notes pretty much indicated, we've got some great candidates, and I'm so pleased that all of you were able to come on board.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We're happy to be here.
Yes.
So I'm curious. So during the whole process, what did you think? Like, did you get a sense that you were going to get hired? How were you feeling about it? What about you, Meg?
Well, it was after the phone or the in-person interview, I was like, all right, I feel like we had a good connection. We talked about some good things. I hope I answered the questions, thoroughly and sincerely. After the logic puzzle, though, I was like, whew, it's in the hands of the universe at this point. Like, I was just chomping at the bit, waiting for a response from that one. I was like, I've done my best. That's all I can do.
That's great. What about you, Kelly? Did you have a sense at all? Did you have a good feeling, or were you convinced you weren't going to get the job?
I think I had a pretty good feeling, but I'm also a big believer in just like holding, what we hold in mind will manifest. So I was honestly just kind of preparing as though it was happening. But I had a pretty good feeling, although ultimately deep down, who knows, right? But I did have a pretty good connection with both of you. And I, just really thought that the process was pretty enjoyable. So I had a good feeling, but it's hard to say.
Right. It's hard to say, because I think sometimes you go into something with a good feeling, and then sometimes it doesn't always work out the way you thought. But because we had some really excellent candidates that we unfortunately had to, decline. And that was really tough, but, but we do feel like we obviously, like we picked the best. So, I'm glad that, all of you, had a pretty good sense of whether or not you're going to get the job. How about you, Diane? Did you have a feeling one way or the other?
I'm not a very self-confident person to begin with. So I just tend to get anxiety about things like that. So I was just checking my email constantly. And every time I made it to a new stage, I'm like, yes, I made it to the next stage. And then, I thought I solved the logic puzzle correctly. But then afterwards I was staring at it and I'm like, I think I did this right. Did I do it right? And then, so like every stage I was just second guessing and everything. And then when I finally got that call from Chrissy, I was like jumping up and down. I was so happy.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are all happy to take
awesome.
You
guys are so excited.
I know, right? And that's another thing we really look for is enthusiasm. We had a lot of people, apply and enthusiasm really stands out when we have candidates that really seem psyched about everything. And just really excited about the opportunity. I mean, for me, that's a huge thing. Now, I mean, obviously, you could be super enthusiastic and not at all qualified or a good match for the job, but it's still something that we notice and that we appreciate. And it just happened that you guys obviously were very good matches. So I'm glad that everyone is excited. So what are you looking for? Let me see how I can put this. What are you most looking forward to as part of the IL team now? Kelly?
Oh, gosh. I think I'm most looking forward to, two things. One, connection with everybody. So far, Megan, Diane, and I, we've had only 4 days together, but I feel like we're besties in a really cool way. We have so much in common, and it's been really great. So I'm certain that there'll be lots of other good connections with the rest of the team. And ultimately, I'm just excited to start diving in and learning about the different errors and issues that come up with our users, and just to kind of start using some of those critical thinking, creative problem solving skills. I have a feeling that no 2 days are ever going to be the same here at InventoryLab, which is really great. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I think Chrissy can definitely speak to that and verify that is absolutely the case. How about you, Meg?
Very similar. I'm very excited to feel like I'm a part of a team again, which I feel like I was missing before. So, I mean, we got to meet some of the other customer champions, and it just feels like everybody is just, I mean, not everybody's going to be in sync every day, but everybody seems like they have a great personality and they're really there for each other. And so it feels great to be part of a team again, which I'm very much looking forward to. I'm also, just like Kelly, looking forward to just digging in there and getting the chance to help people. That's what I signed up for, is the opportunity to learn something new, something I've never done before, and really just get to help people, maintain their business. That's what I like the most.
That's fantastic. And how about you, Diane?
Well, I feel like I'm going to be completely repetitive now because my answer is very similar to theirs. But I'm so looking forward to being a part of the InventoryLab family and being, when we first started that first day, me and Meg and Kelly, we were all saying to each other, it sounds like all these other people are speaking another language, when they're speaking about the software and everything, because we don't know it yet. So now it's been a few days. Now we're actually understanding things. And the more that I see people talking, the more I understand what they're saying. So I'm looking forward to also being an expert in InventoryLab and understanding all of it.
It can be terrifying, can it? When you walk into a job for the first time, walking, so to speak, to not have that knowledge base already. And I think we all go through that, no matter how many new jobs we've had and no matter how happy we are to be there. I think there's always that sheer panic at the beginning. Like you said, it sounds like we're speaking another language. I mean, like I was saying to everyone before we jumped on live, I'm going to start, selling and getting to know, the actual software a lot more, which is something I normally in my HR admin role normally wouldn't get a chance to do. So I'm going to do a deep dive and then hopefully, collaborate with all of you to help, basically to help troubleshoot and to help our users, do walkthroughs, figure out what they need to do, what they need to change, what is going to help them, like you said, run their business better and make them glad that they chose InventoryLab in the first place. So I'm excited about that. And So I kind of feel the same way all the time. During our team meetings, they'll be talking about something and I'll be like, I have no idea what's happening right now. Talking about like development things. I'm like, don't know what's happening. Like I have a vague idea, but it's not quite the same. So
That's me in the dev meeting. Start getting
yeah, right?
technical
Like,
and I'm like, I don't know.
it's crazy. All right. And so Chrissy, what would you say is the most important takeaway? I mean, other than obviously, everyone learning the system and learning, the ins and outs of answering tickets, what would you say are some of the most important things to take away from training?
Well, I would say the most important thing is just to understand that you are not, even though we're going through training, the idea is that you have an overview of what things are and what they do. You're not going to know every single thing. Even I still, when I was going through training, I'm like, oh, we can do this, or let me check this again. My hope is that you'll be able to know where to get the answer from. That's why someone who actually likes digging into details, we have these back-end tools that you can use, that you'll use daily, where you may have forgotten what the answer is, but you go and you find it and you say, okay, that's what it is. Or you just need to know where to research. I think that's the big thing. It's just learning how to get to the answer if you don't have it on the top of your head, because that's not going to happen. It's big for you to know exactly like what the answer is right away. There's some things that you can, but as long as everybody is comfortable with the fact that they're not going to be perfect at some point. They're not going to be a complete expert in every single thing InventoryLab wise, but you're going to know where to get that. And that's where I feel like I'm going to try to stress the most, is helping you understand where you can find information or who you can go to get that answer.
I think as a team, that's one of our biggest strengths too, is not only our communication, but the support of one another. I mean, if you have a question, if you need help with anything, you can, even if you're not going to the right person, if one of us isn't the right person and that's where you're starting, we'll get you to the right person. It's never going to be a situation like, well, that's not my job. We never do that. So
don't feel like you can't ask a question of anything.
Absolutely.
Really.
Right. We'd much rather have you ask the questions, and don't worry about, coming off like, oh my God, I don't know anything, or I'm asking too many questions. There's no such thing. Because the more questions you ask, the more answers you get, the more knowledge you build up, the more confident you'll be, like with anything, So Chrissy, what are you thinking as far as time frame? When do they'd go live?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow they'll be on chat.
Oh yeah.
I think with the pace we're going now, I think we already had it set to have another week of training, and then after that they will go on to I'll show them how we respond to tickets, how we answer tickets. They'll even do I like putting them on test tickets, so past tickets, using their skills to research those and get their tone together, and then they'll get started on answering our real customers through email mostly, and then once they get that, then they'll move on to chat. So it's kind of a stepped approach, just to not throw them in there, because
like we did with this webinar. Where we ask our customer champions, hey, if we ask you to participate in a webinar or, like a screen sharing or anything with our users, would you be okay with that? And everybody was fine. So we thought, you know what? Trial by fire. Let's just throw them in there. Let's just have them on the webinar and see if they're really comfortable. And I'll tell you, not only do I appreciate all of you being very open to that right from the beginning, but all of you just seem very comfortable and confident in front of the camera. So and not that there would be anything wrong if you were nervous, but if you are, it doesn't come off. So
right.
Thank you.
I
Thanks,
really
Kim.
appreciate your willingness.
I was worried.
So hopefully we can see y'all soon.
All right. So now I have another question, and it might be honestly the most important question of all.
Oh, this is a huge question.
It is a huge
Oh my
question,
gosh.
and I'm not saying that there's any right or wrong answer.
Oh, there is
I
a
am
right
saying
answer.
that
What
you
do you
give
mean?
a certain answer, you might find yourself on Chrissy's list. Now, Chrissy will claim she doesn't have a list. But I think those of us who know Chrissy pretty well know that that's not true.
I'm on several of those lists.
Right? So
Almost
this
all
is
of them.
really, really important. Diane, let's start with you.
No pressure,
Pancakes or
Diane.
waffles?
Oh, well,
Well,
pancakes. Pancakes.
All right, Meg, pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Same. Pancakes are my favorite.
oh man,
You all
I'm a little
passed flying
disappointed.
colors.
I'm a little disappointed that French toast wasn't in there.
French toast wasn't an option.
Get out of here.
I know it should be. That would win
No,
hands
it
down.
shouldn't be.
Are we gonna
What
say
was it?
crepes next?
What was John trying to include? Crepes?
Crepes, yeah.
Did he try to-
crepes
yeah.
went in there.
French toast crepes.
Yeah. Stop trying to make French toast happen. It's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
So wrong. So wrong.
So now that we have you all here, kind of our captive audience, so to speak, do you have any questions for us, or is there anything that you wanted to bring up? Anything you just wanted to make mention of as far as the training, the job? Whether Chrissy's been really nice or
This is awesome. She's made us feel so comfortable from the very first second. Yeah.
I think you guys can tell we love Chrissy. We love her.
She's
okay.
been great, and I appreciate that she gets really that it's all virtual and it's a lot of learning. It's a lot of your booty in a chair, face on the screen, and so she's been so great about making sure we take little breaks and we get up and stretch and we have all the liquids, and I really appreciate that. That's made it a much more enjoyable experience, I think.
That's fantastic. And Chrissy, anything that you wanted to ask as far as the training or
Sure.
anything else?
Oh, here we go.
I
Here we go.
So you both, when you got here, how did your hiring process compare to what we do now with the CCs?
Like mine and Jeff's?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, do you want to do you remember way back when? Jeff's been here from the beginning.
Yeah, it was, let's see, I had 2 phone calls. And when I got the second one, I was like, you guys, I was like really excited. I was like, man, this might happen. And then that was it. The next thing I heard was from Ryan calling me and saying I got the job. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
No
for
logic
me,
puzzle, thankfully.
I had something more similar to what you all had, except instead of a logic puzzle, I had a project to do. So, and I think I went over this last time we were here, but I'll go over it again. So I apologize if this is super boring to anyone, but so I saw the job posting, and like all of you, the language completely resonated with me. And I had been looking for a job for about 4 months. Meg, I was in insurance with a giant insurance company that I'm not going to name. And I was pretty miserable. And so when I saw this job posting, I remember saying to my husband, if I don't get this job, I'm going to be devastated, like devastated. Like it was just, there was nothing else like it out there. And I remember, so I did the questions. I'm pretty sure there were 5 questions. I can't remember completely. And then I had a phone screening with V, one of our customer champions. And I'll never forget, because I was actually sitting in my car in the parking lot of, my current employer, where I worked at the time. And I just did it on my lunch break. And I had a pretty good feeling. And then the next step was a project. And the project was, this is the scenario. We are planning a company meeting, like a retreat someplace. You have to pick the place and you have to have a budget. And so I thought, okay, I can do that. And I was actually I kind of geeked out over it because I was really excited. It's kind of like how you guys like the logic puzzle. I was like, yeah, that's really cool. So I kind of went a little, what I thought was overboard, and I created a fake itinerary for every single day, including where we were going to get catered food from, what activities we're going to do. I literally planned out every single day from like 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. or whatever I did. And I remember sending it to our operations manager. And I remember saying, in a nutshell, I hope you don't think I'm a psycho, but I did a little bit more than you asked me to. And then I had a real face-to-face interview, because they actually are in New York State with me. And so we met up, and it was me and Elizabeth and Ryan, and I did the face-to-face interview, and I felt pretty good about that. And then the next thing, I think it was the next day, I got the phone call from Elizabeth. And I was walking out of work, so I couldn't celebrate the way I wanted to. So I was so excited. But yeah, I couldn't really, I remember like talking on the sidewalk, going to my car and whispering, "Yeah, I'm so excited." And that was back in 2016. So yeah, it's been a long, good ride. It seems like longer too. Like I feel like I've been here forever.
Same.
Like, I don't even remember what I did. I mean, I remember what I did at the insurance company, but if you were to ask me to go into their system and handle a claim, I couldn't tell you how to do it. Like,
Just
like I remember some things, but I wouldn't even remember I don't even remember what system we used. So, coming here was really, it kind of saved me in a way. So, and I hope all of you have a similar experience. I hope that, you stick with us for a long time. I hope you're happy. And obviously, like we said, you guys need anything, you just reach out. If you're not sure, like I said, just start with me, start with Chrissy, we'll get you to the right person. So
We do.
Can I
I
ask
see
y'all
we
one
do have
more
a question though. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. All right. No,
There's
go
one
ahead.
more. It's super important.
okay.
No,
You haven't
brother.
answered
There
it
we go.
yet. Does pineapple go on pizza?
Pineapple does go on pizza.
Yeah.
That's a hard yes.
I'm team pineapple too.
Honestly, no, absolutely not. It does not belong on pizza.
Well,
Unless
Chrissy,
it's dessert pizza. Then okay.
I've got nothing to lose because you can't fire me. So I'm going to say yes. It does belong on pizza.
Yes, it does. So maybe.
Oh,
Kelly
good.
has
We
the right
agree. Fantastic.
I'm on the list.
Remember
I'm
your
on the
stamp on
pineapple
one
list.
on the list.
Yep. Yeah, Kelly, you just made the list. All right.
Check.
We're hanging out together at
Almost.
least.
So we have a couple more things to do, like some Amazon news and
Fantastic.
also, if anybody has any questions that's watching, if you have any questions for any of the CCs, feel free to pop those in the comments. I see we do have one question from Lisa. What is the Roller Derby League? I think that's for you, Meg. Not
Oh, yeah,
sure.
probably. So roller derby is a full contact sport. It's played on quad roller skates, and I do flat track, so it's not like the bank track. It's just a flat surface. And
That's what I grew up watching.
watching the bank track.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2009 there was like a huge revival of roller derby for the flat tracks. It's much easier to, like, you can pretty much put a flat track anywhere as long as you have some tape just to do the outline, whereas a bank track is much more tedious, time consuming, and costly to like construct the big thing. So it's played on quad skates. There are blockers and a jammer, and a jammer is the person with the star on their helmet, and they are the ball essentially. So they're the only ones who can score points. So you score points by making your initial lap around the track, and you get points for every blocker that you pass as a jammer. So if you're a blocker, you want to get your jammer through so they can get all the points, and you want to keep the other team's jammer from getting through. So you're playing offense and defense pretty much simultaneously. And yeah, it's full contact. So well, I mean, it's a real sport though, so there's no like hair pulling or elbows or punches or anything, but it's still full contact. So hips, shoulders, people go flying all the time. So
I know someone who used to do roller derby, and she loved it until she broke her tailbone.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, I think I'm done." And I briefly thought about it, but you know, I'm old and broken now, so it's not something that could possibly happen to me now.
I've sustained many injuries, and I still can't get enough of it. I love it so much, and I've missed it this past year.
I bet.
What's the name of the league? Or
I skate for Greensboro Roller Derby. That's my local league I
Okay.
skate for.
Now, have
That
you
was really
watched the
big
movie
in
with
Portland.
Elliot Page?
Yeah, I have. I've seen Whip It. So that's
Whip It
that's
is- yeah.
bank
Fun.
track. That's a little bit yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch as
It's a
far as
movie, right?
You don't
Exactly.
clothesline people, and you don't elbow people, and if you had a bloody nose, like, we would send you to see a medic.
Right,
Not
like you can just stay
on the
on,
track.
yeah, you can just stay there.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a fun, good time anyway. Who doesn't love
I
Elliot Page?
haven't seen that movie. The one that I recall is the one with Raquel Welch. You know, what is it?
Oh
Kansas,
God, that was
Kansas
what
City
was
Bomber.
that called? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was going back a ways. You're
It
dating
was in,
yourself.
like, 70s, mid-70s.
Is everyone going, who's Raquel Welch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
All right.
Let's see.
I guess we can just jump into, I don't see any other questions for the customer
One just
champion.
popped up actually, but now, yeah, it's about creating a batch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll answer that in just a bit.
All right.
But do you guys want to stick around, or do you got to go back to training, or?
Well, we got 20 minutes left. We can stick around if y'all.
Right? I was gonna say, you guys are you're out of the you're
I don't know
off
what we would learn
on the spot anymore.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's jump into Tales from Support. I feel like I need creepy music to go on with this. Angie,
You've got to
did a great
find some
job with
creepy
this.
music for that.
Yeah, kind of like, I don't know, I was thinking maybe that the music that Dalton was playing when he rolled into Jasper.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Maybe something
Can we,
like
can, we,
that.
can we get hold of that without paying for it?
I think we're trying to see how many references to Roadhouse we can actually get in one episode. We'll,
Oh,
right.
I had a perfect opportunity, Jeff. I should have told Meg when she was talking about getting injured. Pain don't hurt.
Oh, yeah, there
And
you
even though
go.
only you and I would get that.
Yeah.
Pain don't hurt.
My bones disagree respectfully.
So this came up, this was like a week or so ago. We got reports that shipments were just being canceled in Seller Central. I don't know if this is still happening, but we did find a couple of forum posts in the Seller Central forums. So you can see that Seller Central is sending them that they're just exceeded the available ASIN storage capacity. So they just canceled the shipments, which that can be pretty annoying. And then, as far as fixing that, something like that, you're just going to have to reach out to support and have them recreate them, which I think they can do, right, Chrissy? Kind of the expert there.
Sorry, I was on mute. If they can reach out to support.
Right. Seller Central support, because we wouldn't be able to recreate them
Let me
in
see.
our app.
No longer inside the phone center may be rejected. They probably would maybe use the duplicate function at the bottom, or just recreate them, like create a new shipment, right? From
But it'd have to
inventory,
be
they
in-
restart the batch.
Yeah, they'd have to redo the batch and
Yeah.
create new shipments and that sort of thing. But from Seller Central, if they
From
wanted to
Seller
restore them, they'd have to have them do it. But the other thing we had this week as well was apps. If you're on an Android and programs are crashing, such as Scatify 2, this is a fairly recent thing that's happening, and it's happening to a lot of different apps. So just do a search for Android crash or Android app crash, and you'll find an article on how to fix that. Those are the two big ones. We had some printer issues and that sort of thing, but that's usually just a matter of reinstalling. But let's see. No, we don't have any product updates this week, but we do have some Amazon news. So let's get into that. As soon as I can get my mouse to work again. There we go. So Amazon has this new selection program. We talked about it, I think, on the last OpenLab. And so it's been pretty successful. As you can see, they've had 60,000 enrolled and 680,000 new to FBA ASINs. That's a lot of ASINs. I'm not sure exactly how many items are on Amazon, but if you had to guess, what would you think, Chrissy? Any idea?
How many items are on Amazon?
Yeah.
3 billion.
Yeah, everything.
So
Everything
many.
you can think of. Yeah. So these links, let me just pop that link into the chat here so you can see that. Or into the screen here. But anyway, if you wanted to be a part of this new selection program, looks like they're expanding the eligibility. And so starting on April 1st, they're going to remove the 500 ASIN limit. So that's pretty cool. And they have some other benefits. But if you did go into Seller Central, their forums area, you can just search for new selection program. It might even be in the news section. So let's see. And what else do I have here? We have the liquidations that are coming back. This happened back in 2017. We had an option on in fact, we had it on our removals and disposals page. One of the icons is for liquidation. And that was back in 2016, 2017. And they had this program where you could just get rid of your non-selling items, and Amazon would liquidate those for you. So now it looks like they're bringing that back, which is kind of cool. I'm not really sure how it works exactly, but again, if you do a search for liquidation in Amazon, something along those lines, there's several articles out there that are that talk about the program. And this one in particular from Web Retailer, it goes into great detail on what happens with returns now, then excess stock, and what's going to change in this new liquidation program. So it's a good option for you if you have stuff that's not selling. Basically, they sell them for pennies on the dollar, just like any kind of liquidator would do. Let's see, what else do we have for news? The big one, the 2021 fee changes that are coming up. That's going to happen on June 1st. So this is actually, I think, on the news portal in Seller Central. So if you go to news, like on your main page, you should see an article about this. But the fees are going to go up on June 1st, like I said, this year. They say that most will not change, but some are going up about 2 to 3% on average. So I know this is a hot topic when it comes to the money that Amazon makes, but and some people, even some of our customers, aren't happy about it. But you are in their sandbox, so to speak. So the changes they make, if you want to sell on their platform, you just kind of have to go with low on this. That's something to be aware of. So those are going to be, you'll start seeing the change again on June 1st. And let's see. And this one came up, it started in December, but we had a couple of cases last week about this, that after 90 days, if you have a working shipment and you haven't done anything with it, that Amazon can just close those. So you only have about 90 days when they're in Seller Central before Amazon can just close them. They may or may not, but that's what will happen. So you want to make sure you do something with that. I think when you actually send a shipment in from a batch, but maybe have some smaller ones that you're holding back so that you can add to those later with later batches within Stratify, the desktop app of InventoryLab. You have 30 days to send those in. But if you have a random shipment that you've left open, if it hits the 90-day mark, it'll show up closed, or it could potentially show up closed. They do say that they'll check those items if they're already in transit, if they close it. So hopefully that's the case, but that would be bad. All right. My mouse keeps bouncing around. I think the battery's going dead. That's all for news. I'll jump in and we'll answer some questions from the chat here. All right. Crystal asks, when creating a batch, how often does IL communicate with Amazon? For example, does it communicate while I'm creating an open batch? So you create the batch, and then when you add an item to the batch, we're going to communicate with Amazon to get some information. That's how we generate that FN SKU. We have to tell Amazon what you're sending in, and they kick back, what the FN SKU is. And so during that process, we're communicating. It's also when you can get a brand restriction, or maybe it's a storage limit restriction on that. And then, of course, after the items are added to the batch and you send the batch feeds, we're communicating again with Amazon during that. You want to add anything to that, Chrissy? I've probably forgotten something.
No, I mean, obviously, if you're in a live batch, that's when we'll communicate to get those shipments created immediately. And then as you're changing quantities of those shipments, we're updating, but you covered it.
All right. All right, let's see. We have Anton. I've gone past the 48 hours after creating a shipment and just got everything prepped for boxing. You may, if you created all of your shipments, you're fine. But if you have some of those shipments that you haven't created yet, and like they're still in that proposed FBA shipments page, that's when you have that 48-hour time limit. So Anton, I don't know if you created all your shipments. If so, you should be fine. But if there's one that you didn't create within that 48 hours, then we'll tell you that you need to update, or what's the other option? You have to update. It's been so long since I've seen that.
It'll have you refresh your shipping plans to create new shipments, but it will create new shipments for the ones you created. So you'd have to start all over.
Yeah, in that case, you're going to have to delete those ones that you may have to delete the ones you've already created, because Amazon could shuffle up the items. So that's why we say on that proposed FBA shipments page, since now you have to, Amazon is getting stickier about their requirements on the shipments. So you need to create all of them anyway. You can't just delete them one shipment and create two if you had a 3 shipment shipping plan like you used to be able to do. So now you have to create all of the shipments. So it's best to just create them all. And then if you have box content on, just click on the enter box content button down in the lower right corner of the page. And that way you can get off of that page. The timer stops. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to, get past that FBA page, or proposed FBA shipments page. Okay, yeah. If all your shipments were created, you're fine. Just move off from that page and go to the box contents page, and you should be good. All right. Yeah, I don't have any other new questions here. So, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop those in, and make sure you make a comment, because we're going to give away swag here in just a few minutes. So just make a comment of anything, just say hi or whatever, and we'll put you in the drawing for those. A couple of swag bags, and then Amazon gift card. So all right. Let's see what else we have here. You have anything else, Kim? Or
I think that was it. I think I'm good. Chrissy, Diane, Kelly, Meg, anything else you want to add before we go?
Didn't have a lot of news this week, so.
It's all right. I think the timing worked out all right.
Yeah.
You give away some swag now, and
all right, Angie will give us the winners here shortly, but you still have a minute or so to get your
all right.
here.
Hi, Emily. Emily says this is her first OpenLab live.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
Hi.
David says thanks for adding the Scoutify import option. How often do you do these live sessions? This is my first. That's Thomas. I mean, do we have we sort of have a schedule.
Yeah, it's kind of every 2 weeks. It's always going to be on a
yeah.
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So
Right. Yep.
every 2 to 3 weeks. And we're going to have, the next one is actually going to be April 15th. So we'll have
All right.
Kristen
Who's this
Ostrander from Mommy Income. She'll be on and be talking about bundling. So that'll be a good one to catch.
Who's Elliot? That looks familiar.
Yeah, that guy, I don't know.
That guy, he just pops up everywhere.
Remove him from session.
Hi, Alyssa.
Yeah,
Hi,
David.
Kevin.
Yeah, David Carpenter, that adding the Scoutify option.
Yep.
That's that was a long time coming. It was requested for a while, and we're glad the developers were able to get that. So it worked pretty seamlessly, I think, and tested it out this morning and again on another case, and it does work really well. So that's another option. If you're not aware of that, if you're using Scatify to create your buy lists, you used to have to email the buy list to yourself and then upload it after saving it to your computer. But now right from within the batch, in fact, I'll just share my screen here. Right from within the batch, if you have an active buy list, you'll see it right here underneath select file. And then when you click a button there, it'll list all of the buy lists that you have on your Scatify 2 app. So you can just select one and import it. Works pretty seamless. The other option is when you import a buy list, it also gives you that option. So yeah, it's an awesome addition.
That's actually the last thing that they practiced before coming into this OpenLab. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. All right. Great. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks for subscribing. Would you do a live session in connecting the terminal printer? I mean, like a thermal printer? Yeah, we could do that. That'll be a good test for Kim. I'll have Kim do that one.
That would be an excellent test. Might crash and burn, but give it a whirl.
All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to open up the wheel of names so that we can give away some of these gifts. If I can get it to work here. There we go. All right. So our first winner, there'll be a swag bag. Larry. All right, Larry, just email support@inventorylab.com and let us know where to send that. Let us know you're one of the winners of the swag bag, and we'll get that to you. So now, do another one. Oh, sorry, Elliot, we forgot to add you to this. And Lisa. Yeah, let us know, support@inventorylab.com, or open up a ticket right from within the app. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And then I was joking about Elliot.
He doesn't get to be on the wheel. If he wants swag,
he's not eligible. And this is for the Amazon gift card.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry,
Emily.
Antoinette. Just
So
missed you.
close.
So close.
Congratulations, Emily.
Congrats, Emily. Yeah, congrats on that. So yeah, if you need to contact support, you just go right up here to the support menu item and create a ticket if you want, or just email us. Probably easier. Just email us directly. But thanks, Angie, for putting those in there. And again, make us reach out to get your swag bag and your gift card. And Valerie, the more I think about that live printer thing, that might be kind of fun to do, or it could be painful. I'm not sure. It depends on the printer, I guess.
Could be real painful.
That's what we should have had the new CCs do. You guys could have connected a printer live. That would have.
They haven't even started on printers. That'll be a fun sitcom, setting up a printer.
Oh gosh, yeah. We'd have to have the mute button ready. I mean, the printers work really well when you get them set up, but there are some printers that do cause some issues. They're more difficult to set up than others, and there's all kinds of things that can affect a printer. But using IL Print now, it works pretty seamlessly, I think, for the most part. But if you're on a Windows system, it works differently than a Mac, and so it just kind of depends on a lot of factors. But Yeah, we'll work up something for that we can kind of walk through that process. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Kim, welcome to OpenLab as the
Yeah,
co-host.
absolutely. It was fun. Thank you, everyone. Chrissy and
Thanks,
Diane and
Chrissy.
Megan, Kelly. Thank you so much for
Amen.
It was
Thanks for
fun.
having
putting
us.
yourselves out there. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you all at the
Bye,
next one.
everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.